Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 140 based on novel. So let's start. Killing desire spread over the enormous square. Vast and mighty Do Chi pressure descended from the sky, causing quite a number of experts to feel a fear within their hearts. Xiao Yan glanced at old ghost Xing, Huang Xuan and the others, who had rushed over with a surging murderous desire. A thought passed through his mind. The 11 puppets beside him formed a formation with a lightning-like speed. With the transfer of the energy, the dark golden color of the Sky Demon puppet swiftly became bright. Leave Huang Xian to the Sky Demon puppet. I will deal with old ghost Xing. All of you will be responsible for blocking the other experts. The big battle was about to erupt with only a spark. Xiao Yan's expression was also grave as he spoke in a deep voice. Why don't I hold back old ghost Xing? That old fellow is too strong. Little fairy doctor hesitated for a moment. Although she possessed quite a great confidence towards Xiao Yan, she was after all clearly aware of old ghost Xing's strength. The previous time, Xiao Yan basically did not have any ability to retaliate in the latter's hands. Even though he ended up going all out and staking his life to use the Annihilation Lotus Flame, it had also resulted in Xiao Yan suffering a serious injury that took a year to fully heal. Relax. A 9-star dozone and a 1-star dozan are two completely different concepts. Xiao Yan smiled slightly in the face of little fairy doctor's concern. Back then, he was indeed no match for old ghost Xing. Now, however, it would not be an easy matter for the latter to defeat him. Little fairy doctor did not say anything more when she saw Xiao Yan's insistence. She was aware of Xiao Yan's character. The latter would not purposefully act brave. Since he had the confidence, it was likely that nothing should go wrong. In that case, be careful. Seeing the many experts who had arrived amidst the rushing wind sound from all over the place, little fairy doctor nodded her head slightly. Her eyes exchanged glances with Tian Huazunja and the others. After which, her body flashed and she appeared in the sky 100 meters away. Majestic Do Chi surged and completely blocked the experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and the Wind Lightning Pavilion. She allowed both old ghost Xing and Huang Xian to pass her with a flash. Xiao Yan, if you are no match for him, you should cry out. I will do my best to come and aid you. Tang Zhen spoke in a deep voice. After which, his sharp gaze was turned towards Bing Hezunja, who was slowly walking over through the air. His foot stepped on an empty space. The space became distorted and he appeared in front of Bing Hezunja. Xiao Yan nodded as he looked at Tang Zhen's back. He flicked his finger and the Sky Demon puppet beside him, which had absorbed the strength of the other 10 puppets, was accompanied by a wind-splitting sound as it rushed out with lightning speed. Finally, it blocked that Huang Xian. Xiao Yan, on the other hand, was using a pair of calm eyes to stare at old ghost Xing, who was stepping through the empty air and appearing in front of him within a couple of flashes. This time around, I will not give you any more opportunity to struggle. Old ghost Xing's face was filled with a savage expression. Originally, he had many opportunities to swiftly finish off Xiao Yan back then at the branch hall of the Hall of Soul. A 9-star dozone was an ant-like existence in his eyes. However, he did not expect that this ant-like existence would end up causing him to pay an extremely cruel price. The humiliation of his broken arm would cause the hatred in his heart towards Xiao Yan to become denser each time he recalled it. This is not up to you to decide. Xiao Yan smiled. Both of his hands suddenly formed numerous strange seals. After images flew before coming to a still an instant later. Skyfire 3 mysterious change. First change. Second change. Third change. After these 3 sharp cries escaped from his mouth, Xiao Yan's robes immediately fluttered despite the absence of any wind. His aura also suddenly rose with a rocket-like speed at this moment. A moment later, it finally came to a slow halt. At this moment, his aura had suddenly reached that of a 3-star dozan or so. At the dozone class, Xiao Yan was able to increase his strength by 5 stars when he used the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. However, the gap between each star in the dozone class was far from that within the dozone class. Hence, even though Xiao Yan had already practiced this secret technique until he was extremely familiar with it and utilized the strength of 3 types of heavenly flame, his strength was merely raised by around 2 stars. The stronger one was, the poorer the effect one can obtain from the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. Xiao Yan frowned slightly as he sensed the vast and mighty ocean-like Do Chi within his body. He appeared a little dissatisfied. A Skyfire 3 mysterious change that is unleashed by 3 types of heavenly flames. This secret technique appears as though it is tailor-made for him. Tang Zhen, a short distance away, also sensed the change in Xiao Yan. His face involuntarily shook a little. With his current strength, if he was to use the Skyfire 3 mysterious change, he could only enable his strength to be strengthened a little, even with the 9 dragon lightning flame added to it. He could barely even raise his strength by a star. Yet, this secret technique was able to show such an effect in Xiao Yan's hands. This caused him to be involuntarily speechless. It was likely that few within the history of the Burning Flame Valley had ever achieved such an effect. However, should Tang Zhen, who was sighing in a speechless manner in his heart, was to be aware of Xiao Yan's dissatisfaction at this moment, it was likely that he would have the thought of find some land and burrow himself into it. Within the entire continent, it was likely that only Xiao Yan alone was able to use the Skyfire 3 mysterious change to raise his strength by 2 stars at the Dozun class. However, it will work. Xiao Yan clenched both of his hands gently. A frightening strength lingered within his palm. It caused Xiao Yan to have the impulse of shattering even space itself. The Burning Flame Valley Skyfire 3 mysterious change. Old Ghost Xing also knitted his brows as he sensed the dope chi that had soared within Xiao Yan's body. He immediately laughed coldly. Mere 3-star Dozun. This is unworthy for you to act triumphantly in front of the old me. Although Old Ghost Xing spoke in this manner, he no longer dared to slight Xiao Yan by even a little. He waved his sleeve, only to hear a clear, clang, sound. Immediately, over a dozen black chains rushed out from Old Ghost Xing's sleeves like poisonous snakes leaving their holes. These dark black chains were extremely frightening. In a flash, they had penetrated through the empty air. Their sharp heads were like javelins that violently rushed towards the fatal spots around Xiao Yan's body. Soul chains, lock soul. Old Ghost Xing had a gloomy expression. He flicked his finger. One could see that those dark black chains were surrounding Xiao Yan in a strange fashion. It formed an unusual formation as it did so. An unusual suction force was erupted as the black fog spread. Under this suction force, Xiao Yan suddenly discovered that the soul between his brows had actually trembled at this moment. Xiao Yan knitted his brows as he sensed this change. His foot stomped on the empty air. Purple-brown flame swept out from his body in all directions. Immediately, it ruthlessly adhered onto the black chains. Soon after, numerous sharp screech was emitted from within the chains. These dirty tricks are useless against me. A cold glint flashed across Xiao Yan's eyes. He appeared above Old Ghost Xing's head an instant later. With a clench of his hand, a heavy ruler appeared. It hacked downwards in a furious manner without any hesitation. Flame-splitting tsunami. Clang! Old Ghost Xing's figure did not move as the heavy ruler landed. Over a dozen dark black chains suddenly rushed out from his sleeves. It swiftly encircled above his head. After which, it forcefully received the heavy ruler. The powerful rebound force shook Xiao Yan until he took 2 steps back. You have improved quite a lot. However, this is still insufficient. Old Ghost Xing slowly raised his head. His shriveled face revealed a ferocious smile as he spoke in a dense manner. This time around, you will no longer be given any chance to struggle. Dense neck, great star hand. After this ferocious laughter of Old Ghost Xing sounded, Xiao Yan suddenly discovered this space had suddenly become greatly distorted. The surrounding environment swiftly changed. He appeared to be in space where the surrounding stars were flickering. Die? Old Ghost Xing's expression was dark and cold. His hand aimed at Xiao Yan from a distance before clenching violently. One could see the space wiggled rapidly. It transformed into a large star hand that was covered with countless number of light spots. It grabbed violently towards Xiao Yan. Space collapsed wherever the large hand passed, revealing a dark black empty hole. It is actually the dense net great star hand. This old fellow, he had actually unleashed it directly after just having clashed. That Xiao Yan will likely not have an easy time. This is one of the killing blows of Old Ghost Xing. The square did not lack some people who knew their stuff. Hence, they were startled when they saw the starry space that was formed around Xiao Yan's body and immediately muttered to themselves. Xiao Yan's expression had become quite grave as he watched the enormous star hand. He could sense this so-called dense net great star hand was definitely a powerful killing move of Old Ghost Xing. It seemed that after having suffered a loss the last time, this old fellow had already understood that finishing the battle quickly was the best method to obtain victory. Who? The surrounding air had already been completely locked. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air. He had indeed not expected that he would directly enter a life-and-death battle phase before even the warm-up had started. This old fellow had currently learned to be smart. Xiao Yang suppressed the ripple within his heart. His hands formed seals with lightning-like speed. Numerous after-images appeared. The do-chi within his body also followed the veins in his arms and surged over like floodwater. Open mountain seal. Sea flipping seal. Overturning land seal. The three seal complemented each other as Xiao Yang's expression became much redder. Bright light was vaguely present on his palm. A frightening energy also caused the space to repeatedly crack and formed numerous dark black crack lines. It's not sufficient. The stacking of the three seals had a might that could shatter a mountain. However, Xiao Yang merely shook his head. This alone was insufficient to contend against this killing blow by old ghost Xing. Immediately, turbid air was spat out. His hand seal changed once again. Sky-burying seal. A palm-size energy light seal once again appeared abruptly. Immediately, it quietly merged into the three seals earlier in front of Xiao Yan's purple expression. With the stacking of the sky-burning seal, the energy light seal had immediately trembled intensely. The light glow bloomed and a layer of strange crystal slowly spread out from the surface of the light seal. After which, it completely covered the light seal. God seal skill, for seal stacking. A heated expression leaped into Xiao Yan's eyes as he looked at the extremely exquisite crystal hand seal in his hand. The God seal skill was one of the high-grade skill within the GU clan. If 5 seals were stacked on top of each other, it was rumored to possess a might that was comparable to a Qian class Do skill. It was a wonder just what strength these 4 seals that were stacked onto each other could reach. The brilliant crystal layer hand was suspended on Xiao Yan's palm. Powerful energy pressure spread out from it, causing the space around to tremble intensely. Go! Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air as he flicked his finger gently. That crystal handprint shook and a fine low cry was being emitted. Immediately, it carried a tail of light as it tore through the distance and darted out explosively. In a flash, it violently collided with the large star hand. Shatter it! Old Ghost Xing's face was ferocious. A thought passed through his mind and the large star hand smashed ruthlessly against the crystal light. This crystal light might be quite strong, but he possessed quite a great confidence towards this attack of his. Given Xiao Yang's strength, as long as he did not use that frightening fire lotus, old Ghost Xing had complete confidence that he could suppress the former until he was unable to retaliate. However, at this moment, he had forgotten that the current Xiao Yang was no longer the 9-star Do Zone from back then. Although the strength of a 3-star Do Zone still had some gap with old Ghost Xing, this gap was no longer one that could not be made up for. Bang! The large hand and the light seal, which were of completely different size, suddenly collided under the many gazes. A shocking voice immediately resounded over this space. Bang! The two collided and a frightening energy ripple suddenly swept apart like a stormy sea. The space at the middle of the energy storm also collapsed and formed a large dark black hole at this moment. That deep darkness caused one's heart to feel a little chilled. At the empty spot within the dark black space, the large star hand and the light seal were emitting a glaring intense light. Wild and violent energy eroded each other crazily. They were just like 2 wild beasts that were doing their best to swallow the other party. Kai? The large star hand and the crystal light seal continued to emit a wild and violent energy. However, at a certain instant, the two, which were dramatically opposing each other, were finally annihilated at the same time. That manner was as though they were fire seedlings that were suddenly extinguished. With the annihilation of the two, the energy storm that swept apart also suddenly come to a halt. After which, they swiftly scattered amidst many stunned gazes. This brat has actually forcefully blocked the dense net great star hand of the old me. Old Ghost Xing's expression immediately became gloomy when he saw this scene. At this moment, he finally began to feel that things were a little troublesome. Although this Xiao Yang's actual strength was only that of a 1-star Do Zun, he seemed to possess an endless number of high-grade Do skills. Their strength was so great that it was frightening. Adding the help from the heavenly flame, even old Ghost Xing would have some trouble finishing him off. This brat has just broken through to the Do Zun class for a short while, yet he is already this strong. If he is allowed to continue training, would it not mean that the old me will not be a match for him? Old Ghost Xing's shriveled tree bark-like face twitched for a moment. An unusually dense desire to kill suddenly erupted within his heart. His expression was gloomy as his empty sleeve suddenly began to move. Immediately, many dark black chains that appeared like poison snakes, finally, they entangled with each other and directly agglomerated into a hand that was completely made from metal chain. The metal chain hand was clenched gently. Old Ghost Xing's face became dense. His shoulders shook and his body became a little illusionary. At a glance, he appeared like a dull fog. His body moved and directly disappeared in a strange fashion. Xiao Yan frowned slightly when Old Ghost Xing's body disappeared. Vast and mighty spiritual strength swiftly spread out from between his brows. Immediately, his expression suddenly changed and his body abruptly pulled back. An illusory figure quickly appeared just as Xiao Yan's body had just pulled back. The metal hand that was created from the dark black chains directly carried a sharp, dark and cold wind that smashed furiously towards Xiao Yan's head. Bang! Xiao Yan's arms hurriedly blocked in front of him as he looked at the metal fist that was rapidly expanded in front of his eyes. He forcefully received the attack. However, that frightening strength directly shook Xiao Yan's hands until they became numb. His body also stepped back unsteadily. Xiao Yan was naturally no match for Old Ghost Xing when it came to head-on Do-Chi clash. Kai? Old Ghost Xing laughed coldly after forcing Xiao Yan's back with a punch. His body trembled and he appeared to have teleported as he once again appeared in front of Xiao Yan. Seeing Old Ghost Xing closely chasing from behind, Xiao Yan hurriedly activated the 3000 lightning movement to its limit. Numerous afterimages surfaced in the sky. His body also swiftly rushed backwards. The illusory ghost agility skill of the old me is not something that the 3000 lightning movement of yours can compare with. A cold laughter was being emitted from the empty space. Xiao Yan's eyes became dazzled. All he could see was that Old Ghost Xing had once again appeared in front of him. Those afterimages did not pose any obstruction to him. This old ghost is really fast. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly when he saw Old Ghost Xing adhering to him like a maggot in one's bones. He had already used the 3000 lightning movement to its limit but was actually still unable to match Old Ghost Xing. It seemed that the level of this so-called illusory ghost agility skill was of a higher level than the 3000 lightning movement. Go and die? Old Ghost Xing laughed in a savage fashion. This illusory ghost agility skill was one of his ultimate skills. He had never used it against anyone below a 5-star Dozun level. Today, however, he was forced to use all of his strength to deal with Xiao Yan. Bang! 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 Old Ghost Xing had a dense and cold face. His palm wind was just like a storm that came pouring down. It appeared to violently smash towards Xiao Yan in a violent fashion. Under this crazy attack, the space itself was being forcefully pressured into a concave form. A sonic boom sound continued to resound across the sky. Xiao Yan continued to be forced back in defeat under this attack of Old Ghost Xing. Although he ended up in a disadvantage, Xiao Yan's expression still remained calm. The purple-brown flame rapidly rotated after forcefully receiving the attacks from Old Ghost Xing. Waves after waves of strange energy spread out and swiftly healed Xiao Yan's injuries. The undying and recovery ability of the 3000 burning flame was finally being displayed to its greatest degree. As long as the flame was not extinguished, Xiao Yan was able to continuously recover from his injuries. Of course, the precondition was that he possessed sufficient Do-Chi to be squandered by the 3000 burning flame. Following this continuous cycle of being injured and healed, Xiao Yan had also started to become wilder because of the fight. At the end, he had basically given up all of his defense. He actually directly chose the most dangerous head-on collision method. Each time Old Ghost Xing struck him with a punch, he would also unceremoniously return a punch to the other party. In any case, he had the 3000 burning flame to preserve his life. Although Xiao Yan had to endure quite a great amount of pain, he would not need to worry about his life being in any danger. Of course, the precondition was that he was not struck until even the 3000 burning flame did not have the time to heal him. Bang bang bang. Everyone was stunned when they saw the two people in the sky having become distorted into a chaotic battle. A 1-star Dozun actually dared to engage in such a crazy collision with a 5-star Dozun. This was something that they had never heard of. This bastard. The crazy battle continued. However, Old Ghost Xing became increasingly frightened the more he fought. Xiao Yan had basically forcefully endured dozens of his punches. Logically speaking, forget about a 1-star Dozun, even a genuine 3-star Dozun would likely have long since been defeated after suffering from serious injuries. Yet, other than appearing a little miserable looking, Xiao Yan in front of him was just like a cockroach, becoming increasingly powerful the longer the fight dragged on. It's the 3000 burning flame. The experience of this old ghost Xing was also quite great. Upon seeing the purple-brown flame that was lingering on Xiao Yan's body, he suddenly understood the reason. His face quickly turned green. With the 3000 burning flame protecting Xiao Yan's body, the latter appeared just as though he was carrying a high-quality healing medicine with him. With just a thought, the 3000 burning flame would swiftly heal the spot where he was injured. Who would dare to compare with him in terms of endurance in this kind of rogue battle? Old Ghost Xing did not dare to continue fighting when he thought of this. Although the 3000 burning flame exhausted quite a lot of Do Qi to heal an injury, Xiao Yan's appearance of being full of energy did not look like a person who was about to exhaust all of his Do Qi. Use the Do technique. Kill him in one attack. Old Ghost Xing's expression sunk. His body swiftly became illusory. After which, he disappeared once again. Is he competing in terms of speed again? Xiao Yan, whose clothes was in tatters, parted his mouth when he saw Old Ghost Xing's body disappeared. An unusually dense pain was seeping out from every part of his body. Almost all of Old Ghost Xing's punches had landed on flesh. Although his injuries had been quickly recovered due to the 3000 burning flame, the pain appeared to have been magnified by dozens of times at this moment. This caused the muscles all over Xiao Yan's body to tremble involuntarily. The Do Qi exhaustion is too great. I cannot continue to drag it out like this with him. Otherwise, the first one to fall will definitely be me. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air. He suppressed the intense pain that was being transmitted from all over his body. The seal formed by his hands changed. After which, the clothes on his back moved. Immediately, he heard a tearing sound as a pair of bone wings suddenly shot out. The bone wings had a jade-like color. It was crystal clear. Numerous strange green-red lines spread within this crystal, giving it an extremely mysterious appearance. This bone wings was naturally something that Xiao Yan had used the Heaven Demon Phoenix wings to refine and create. However, due to him being afraid that the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe would pester him and that he did not possess the qualification to fight with the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, he had been hiding it within his body. Yet, he had no choice but to use it today. In any case, the current Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe did not display any friendly intention towards him. In that case, he no longer needed to hide. Old Ghost Xing's figure surfaced in a ghost-like manner in the empty sky. His hands formed some seals with lightning-like speed. Vast and mighty energy swiftly surged. Boom! The energy had just been gathered when a hot sharp wind suddenly struck. It caused Old Ghost Xing's expression to change. His body hurriedly pulled back. However, he had just done so when the sharp wind strangely turned towards his back. After which, it violently landed on his back. Groan! The sudden heavy attack had directly shook Old Ghost Xing until he continued to be forced back. A muffled moan was being emitted from his throat. He suddenly raised his head and looked at Xiao Yan, who was flapping a pair of jade bone wings. A disbelief surfaced within his eyes. The speed of the latter had basically soared to a frightening stage that even he could not sense. Old Ghost, try and receive another fire lotus from me. The bone wings were flapped gently as Xiao Yan let out a cold laughter. He flicked his finger and 3 clusters of heavenly flames surfaced in front of him. After which, they collided with lightning speed due to a thought of his. The expression of Old Ghost Xing suddenly changed drastically when he saw that Xiao Yan was intending to merge the heavenly flames again. His body flashed and he whisked towards Xiao Yan with lightning-like speed. Your current speed is insufficient. Xiao Yan smiled when he saw this. He flapped the bone wings and his body swiftly pulled back like a meteorite, abandoning Old Ghost Xing far behind him. With the bone wings aiding him, his speed could already overlook most elite Dozans. If he isn't sufficient, will it be sufficient if I am added in? Xiao Yan's words had just sounded when a shady cold laughter suddenly resounded over the sky. Immediately, 2 blurry figures rushed past the empty space. In almost an instant, they had appeared a short distance in front of Xiao Yan. The sudden appearance of the human figures also caused Xiao Yan's face to change a little. His eyes swept over the 2 figures. His heart suddenly sunk when he saw that the backs of these 2 individuals had a pair of wings. Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe? Xiao Yan's expression was somewhat gloomy as he watched these 2 human figures that had suddenly appeared. These 2 individuals had white hair. They were wearing grayish-white robes. A pair of wings were gently being flapped on the backs of these two old fellows. A faint lightning sound vaguely resounded. Xiao Yan had seen this pair of wings on Huang Xian. Hence, he also understood that these two people were likely experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. 2 5-star Do Sons. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over these two indifferent-looking old men. His heart sunk involuntarily. The strength of these two were not inferior to old ghost Xing. This Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was indeed worthy of being one of the 3 top tribes of the magical beast world. 2 experts of such a level had actually appeared together. Is this reinforcements from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, that old fellow Huang Xian was actually purposefully delaying time until the arrival of the reinforcements? Xiao Yang's eyes flickered rapidly. His fist also suddenly tightened. The bone wings of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Brat, your boldness is really great. An old man wearing a greyish-white robe glanced at Xiao Yan before pausing his eyes on the pair of bone wings on the latter's back. The corner of his eyes were lifted slightly as he spoke in an indifferent voice. Xiao Yan's eyes were gloomy. His body pulled back slightly. 2 5-star Do Sons and an old ghost Xing looking with ill intent from the side. If the situation was not handled well today, it was likely that he would really end up dying today. There is no need for any unnecessary words. Capture this brat, tear the bone wings off and bring him back to the tribe to be punished. The other elder from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe spoke with a cold expression. We must heavily punish such actions. Otherwise, how can we deter others in the future? It's just as well. We'll capture him, cripple his Do Chi and let him kneel in the tomb for his entire life. The greyish-white robed elder nodded. A cold glint flashed within his eyes. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe greatly valued the corpse of their tribe members. Anyone who dares to commit even the slightest blasphemy against a corpse of a tribe member will be chased by them with a murderous intent. This had resulted in them having not met anyone who dared to use the wings of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to create a flying Do skill for many years. Xiao Yan was the first today. Xiao Yan involuntarily laughed furiously when he heard the decision of these two old fellows that were made as though no one else was present. He curled his hand and 3 types of heavenly flame gathered. After which, it formed a beautiful exquisite fire lotus rapidly. A trace of destructive force quietly spread from it when the fire lotus was formed. This caused the energy of this place to fluctuate intensely. The 2 elders from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe were also startled when they sensed the might of the fire lotus in Xiao Yan's palm. A low and deep exclamation was emitted from their mouths. They were clearly very surprised that Xiao Yan was actually able to use a Do skill of such might. 2 misters, this is a fire lotus that is formed from the merger of 3 types of heavenly flames. Do not underestimate it. Old ghost Xing in the distance watched the fire lotus in Xiao Yan's hands with horrified eyes before issuing a warning. Yes. The 2 of them nodded indifferently but did not respond. Their eyes stared at Xiao Yan and said, the old me also sensed the smell of the demon phoenix essence blood. Brat, you have broken all the taboos of my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Xiao Yan was expressionless. He flicked his finger and the fire lotus in his hand rose. After which, it was accompanied by a fire tail as it gently rushed towards the 2 old men. The 2 old men let out a cold snort when they saw the fire lotus rushing over. Vast ocean-like powerful Do Chi surged out from the bodies of the 2 of them like a volcano. It vaguely gathered and formed an unusually large heaven phoenix shape above their heads. Explode! Xiao Yan laughed coldly when he saw this. A thought passed through his heart and the fire lotus that flew close to those 2 instantly bloomed. Immediately, a bang sounded as it exploded in an earth-shaking manner. Humph, demon phoenix bell. The expressions of those 2 elders sunk as the frightening firestorm swept over. They formed some mysterious seals with their hands with lightning-like speed. Within the blink of an eye, it formed a 1,000 feet large energy bell in the midair, completely covering the firestorm that had swept over. Clang! The firestorm heavily collided onto the wall and the energy of this entire place became restless at this moment. A thunder-like metallic sound resounded beside everyone's ears, causing the Do Chi within their bodies to tremble intensely. A frightening firestorm spread inside the demon phoenix bell. That destructive force ruthlessly collided onto the walls of the bell. Glaring sparks appeared as the demon phoenix bell shook continuously. There was actually a slight crack line vaguely spreading within it. The expressions of those 2 elders changed slightly when they saw the tiny crack line spreading on the demon phoenix bell. They felt some disbelief within their hearts. The demon phoenix bell that was created by the two of them together could trap a 5-star Dozan. Yet, it was currently showing signs of cracking apart in the hands of a little fellow, whose aura was that of a mere 3-star Dozan. This brat is a little strange. The two elders exchanged looks and gently nodded. They waved their sleeves. Vast and mighty Do Chi swiftly surged out from within their bodies. After which, it was poured into the demon phoenix bell, causing the enormous bell to emit a kind of unusual luster. Explode! Xiao Yan's expression sunk slightly as he watched the firestorm that was being trapped within the bell. A thought passed through his mind and the might of the fire lotus suddenly erupted completely. The firestorm collided wildly on the enormous bell, emitting a deafening earth-shaking noise. At the same time, it caused the demon phoenix bell to tremble intensely. Bang! The two Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe's elders once again had a change in expression when they saw the demon phoenix bell trembling intensely. Before they could continue to strengthen it, however, they heard a loud bang. That incomparably solid demon phoenix bell was completely blasted apart in front of their stunned gazes. Humph! The two experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe were implicated when the demon phoenix bell exploded. A low and deep moan was emitted from their mouths. Their feet were also shaken until they took 2 steps back. An insignificant tactic? After swiftly stabilizing their bodies, the two grayish-white cloaked elders glanced at the annihilation firestorm that followed. They stood with their hands behind them and laughed coldly. However, no one saw that the hands under their sleeves had involuntarily trembled at this moment. 2 idiots. A short distance away, old ghost Xing watched these two experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe and involuntarily shook his heads. With his ability, he was naturally able to sense that these two old fellows had suffered some hidden losses because they had joined hands and acted strong. Seeing that the fire lotus that was formed from the merger of 3 types of heavenly flames being blocked, Xiao Yan frowned a little. He immediately glanced at those two elders and a cold smile involuntarily surfaced on his face as he asked, "You two, are you feeling a little terrible?" That grey-cloaked old man's face sunk slightly when he heard this. He spoke faint, "Razor-tongued brat. Bring yourself with you and obediently return with us to the Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe. We do not wish to use force. However, you should be able to see the situation here clearly. Today, all of you will not be able to escape." A couple of figures flashed over from the mid-air when this old man's voice sounded. Finally, they paused beside Xiao Yan. They were Little Fairy Doctor's group. "We have been surrounded," Little Fairy Doctor's words caused Xiao Yan's heart to sink. Only then did he turn his gaze. He discovered that nearly 100 figures had appeared around the square at some unknown time. Powerful auras spread over the place. Clearly, this was the reinforcement that the Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe had called. "This Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe really hold us in high regard," even Xiao Yang involuntarily sighed and slowly said when he saw this situation. Adding these two old men who had suddenly appeared, the Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe had 4 5-star Dozans. This lineup was sufficient to be worthy of the description, terrifying. Although that old fellow's tone was arrogant, it must be said that the situation today really appeared as though Xiao Yang's group would have difficulty escaping. "Xiao Yang, hand over the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. We might allow your companions to leave. Otherwise, do not blame my Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe for engaging in a slaughter today." Huang Xian was suspended in the empty air. His arms hugged his chest as he let out a cold cry. The Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe is really acting in a mighty manner. Ziyang laughed coldly. Huang Xian's eyes narrowed. He stared at Ziyang and slowly said, "Ancient Void Dragon. Indeed, we do not wish to offend you, but my Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe will not hold back even a little for the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. What should we do? This situation is bad. For 5-star Dozans. This lineup is even more frightening than when we were at the branch hall of the Hall of Soul." Tian Huasanja frowned and asked. Xiao Yang inhaled a deep breath of air. A crazy expression gradually surged up his face. If this Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe forced him to his limit, he could only once again use the Annihilation Lotus Flame. With his current strength, it was likely that even 4 5-star Dozan would have difficulty blocking the Annihilation Lotus Flame that he unleashed. Although he would directly enter a weakened state after this, he had no other choice at this critical moment. "There is no need for all of you to act. Leave it to me." Ziyang appeared to be aware of Xiao Yang's thoughts. She shook her head slightly as the tattoo on her small hand wiggled. That Dragon Phoenix origin fruit slowly appeared. She lifted this fruit and stood in the empty space. Her eyes were cold and indifferent as he looked at Huang Xian and the two Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe elders, whose eyes were covered with greed. At the same time, she coldly laughed, "The Dragon Phoenix origin fruit is here. Come and take it if you have the ability." Little Fairy Doctor's group was startled when they saw Xi Yang's action. They were about to speak when they were stopped by Xiao Yan at the side. The latter shook his head. Xi Yan might be mischievous, but she was not a fool. She should have her reason for this action of hers. "Humph, a mere child ancient void dragon. Do you really think the old me is afraid of you?" Huang Xian's eyes exchanged looks with the two other Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe elders. He nodded a little. Immediately, their bodies rushed out at the same time. The three of them had actually attacked together and charged at Xi Yang in a ferocious manner. The speed of Huang Xian trio was extremely frightening. Within the blink of an eye, they had appeared over a dozen meters in front of Xi Yang. Their eyes were crazily staring at the fruit that was emitting an unusual fragrance. Once they had this thing, new supreme magical beast bloodline would appear in the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. This kind of bloodline would be even more powerful than the ancient void dragon. The Dragon Phoenix origin fruit belongs to my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Kai? However, just when the hands of those three were about to grab the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit on Xi Yang's little hand, the space beside Xi Yang suddenly emitted a ripping sound. It split and formed a large hole. Immediately, a strong figure strided out of the space. This figure had just appeared when an extremely powerful pressure suddenly descended. Under this pressure, the faces of those Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe experts immediately became pale. The forward-charging figures of Huang Xian trio suddenly stiffened. A shocked expression swiftly spread over their faces. A human figure appeared. Along with it, a furious domineering laughter immediately rumbled over this entire place. "Is a tribe member of my ancient void dragon tribe someone that you frivolous birds can touch?" The overbearing furious laughter was just like a thunder from the heavens that swept over the entire sky. The extremely powerful dragon's might that was contained in the furious laughter caused the do-chi within the bodies of quite a number of people to appear a little blocked at this moment. Ancient void dragon. Huang Xian trio's eyes were shocked as they looked at the strong figure which had stepped out from within the spatial crack line. A horror finally surged up their hearts. Although the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was a tip tribe that was on par with the ancient void dragon in the magical beast world, they understood that the ultimate being in the magical beast world had always been the ancient void dragon. Although the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe had been tolerating this position for many years, they still did not dare to perform even the slightest unusual activity. During the ancient times, even their ancestors, the Heaven Phoenix tribe, had difficulty suppressing the ancient void dragon, much less they, the descendants of these Heaven Phoenix. Huang Xian trio could still put on a strong front when facing Xi Yang, who was a child ancient void dragon. However, in front of a true matured ancient void dragon, that strong front had disappeared faster than anything else. The three of them swiftly exchanged glances. Do-chi suddenly surged within their bodies as they forcefully tried to escape from the solidified space. Their bodies flashed and they withdrew explosively. Slam! However, the three of them had just moved when the strong human figure that had strided out of some space let out a cold laughter. He strided forward and his large hand violently slammed downwards across the distant space. After which, everyone was stunned to see that a clear sound was suddenly emitted from the faces of Huang Xian trio. A blood-red palm imprint had appeared on the faces of the three of them. Huang Xian trio immediately spat out a mouthful of fresh blood after this palm slammed downwards. Their bodies flew backwards, appearing as though they had suffered a heavy blow. Finally, he violently landed on the ground in front of the shocked gazes from the many experts of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. The frightening force smashed the incomparably hard square until three enormous deep pits were formed. Hiss! Everyone violently inhaled a breath of cool air as they watched Huang Xian trio, who were lying in the deep pit while being covered with fresh blood. Cold sweat continued to flow on the face of Feng Qing'er's group. A terrified expression was present. Three experts, who had reached the strength of a 5-star Dozun, were actually unable to even endure a slap from that ancient void dragon. Xiao Yan's group in the sky was also speechless at this scene. They faced each other. After which, they watched the strong back beside Xi Yang. Their hearts were completely shaken. Was this the strength of a matured ancient void dragon? It was indeed frightening. According to Xiao Yan's guess, it was likely that the strength of this ancient void dragon would have at least reached that of a 7 to 8 star Dozun level. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to easily beat up Huang Xian trio until the latter did not have any ability to retaliate. The entire sky had become quiet because of the ruthless slam. That being Xing in the distance, who was engaging in an intense battle with Tangjun, was shocked to the point that he hurriedly stopped fighting. His forehead was covered with cold sweat. Ancient Void Dragon. This was the most mysterious magical beast tribe in the continent. Even he had hardly even seen it a couple of times. Unexpectedly, he had once again seen one today. Just who exactly is that Xiao Yan? Not only can he get the help of the GU clan, but now, he can even summon an ancient void dragon over. This person cannot be offended. This thought swiftly flew within Bing Hizunja's heart. An extreme fear towards Xiao Yan had quietly surged deep within his heart at this moment. Who else dares to come snatch it? The strong figure crossed his hands across his chest and simply stood in the sky in this random manner. That incomparable overbearing feeling spread. No one in this entire square dared to open their mouth to speak. Mr. is likely an elder from the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Yet, you are acting mightily in front of us, these younger generation of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. What ability do you have? The white-haired man was usually an extremely haughty individual. He involuntarily cursed quietly when he saw so many experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was frightened by the expert of the other party until none of them dared to reply. Immediately, he spoke in a deep voice. Your Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe actually have the face to say such words to the old me. Those three frivolous birds earlier had done such a thing. The large man wearing a simple skin clothes on the empty space lowered his head and looked down at the white-haired man. He immediately said, those who do not wish to suffer a punch should roll aside. Don't grumble to this father. The old me already see all of you frivolous birds as an eyesore. Is this dragon phoenix origin fruit something that you can meddle with? The large man's, this father, revealed his domineering aura. The faces of quite a number of people became distorted. From these words, they understood that there was no need to talk reason with him. Instead, one should use one's fist to talk. Those whose fists were not hard enough should get lost. The face of the white-clothed man alternated between green and white. He clenched his fist tightly but did not dare to continue saying anything. Given the strength of the large man, a punch was sufficient to kill him. Cough. Huang Xian trio had finally climbed up miserably from the deep pit on the square. They wiped off the fresh blood on their faces and looked at each other. They appeared a little dispirited. It seemed that there was completely no chance to get Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. Even if the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe could really continue dispatching an expert that could match him, the ancient Void Dragon would definitely not allow the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to obtain it since they had already noticed the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. Little girl, this time around, Uncle Hay is not late, right? The large man finally turned around and spoke smilingly towards Xiao Yan after deterring the entire place. There is still that old bastard. Xiao Yan turned her small hand, pointed towards old Ghost Xing a short distance away and said. The expression of old Ghost Xing immediately changed when he saw Xiao Yan pointing over. He put up a brave front and cried out, the old me is a member of the Hall of Soul. What nonsense, Soul? Do you think that the Hall of Soul will dare to declare war against our ancient Void Dragon if I beat you up? That large man, who called himself Uncle Hay, widened his eyes. His fan-like large hand was once again lifted and it violently slapped at old Ghost Xing from a distance. The large man waved his hand. Xiao Yan's group had sensed that an extremely mysterious ripple had suddenly been lifted in the space. It was this kind of ripple that had transmitted the frightening strength of that large man over within an instant. I have heard that the ancient Void Dragon possessed a talent to shuttle through the empty space. It is likely that their usage of spatial strength is something that no one can compare with, Xiao Yan muttered to himself within his heart. The expression of old Ghost Xing became extremely ugly when he saw the large man attacking as he pleased. Do Qi hurriedly surged out from his body and formed a defense on it. Bang! A frightening strength merged into the space almost instantly. After which, it poured onto the body of old Ghost Xing. A redness directly surged up the latter's face. A mouthful of fresh blood was also involuntarily spat out. His body also miserably staggered backwards by a couple of dozens of meters before slowly stabilizing itself. Move further away. People like you are not qualified to touch the people here. The large man's expression became cold as he cried out sternly after sending old Ghost Xing rolling away. Old Ghost Xing rubbed away the fresh blood on the corner of his mouth. He clenched his fist tightly and his eyes contained a dark chillness as well as an unwillingness. However, it was suppressed in front of the absolute strength of the large man. He also understood that it was pointless to say anything more. Instead, it would only invite even more fists. With the help of the ancient void dragon today, he could only just stare at those Dosheng bones on Xiao Yan's body. Xiao Yan's group exchanged gazes with each other as they looked at the silent square. They let out a bitter laughter. This was definitely the absolute pressure from strength. Everything was useless in the face of true strength. Yes, you have done quite well, this time around, I will not complain about you. Xing was also quite satisfied when she saw the situation. She nodded and spoke in a magnanimous manner. The large man was speechless when he heard the word complain. His face was depressed. Clearly, he had suffered quite a lot of losses. Humph, you can be considered to be quick this time around. Should anything happen to the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit, it is not something that can be made up with by confinement. Xing curled her small mouth and snorted softly. He. The large man, who called himself Uncle Hay, rubbed his head and laughed. He naturally understood the importance of the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. If this thing was to really land in the hands of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, those old fellows within the clan would definitely not let him off easily. Hey, this is Xing. He is also a tribe member of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, they are my friends. Xing turned her head and smilingly spoke to Xiao Yan's group. The last sentence was naturally spoken to the large man called Xing. Xiao Yan greets Elder Xing. Xiao Yan cupped his hands together. He was aware that although this large man did not appear very old, he was definitely an old demon who had lived for countless number of years. Oh, you are that Xiao Yan, huh? Xiao Xian's descendant. It is unexpected that the Xiao clan can still produce such a person. It is indeed worthy of once being one of the 8 ancient clans. Unfortunately, the bloodline seemed to have turned into scrap. Xing glanced at Xiao Yan and smilingly said. His last sentence, however, was something that only he himself could hear. Xiao Xian? 8 ancient clans? Xiao Yan was startled. He had heard the term in front. Xiao Xian, the most outstanding ancestor of the Xiao clan. However, he was a little at a loss about the term behind. When I became acquainted with that fellow Xiao Xian back then, I was almost the same age as Xing. Xing parted his mouth and smiled. He patted Xing's head. However, he did not reply to the questions. Changing the topic, he waved his large hand and said, let's not talk anymore and leave. I will bring all of you away from here. Otherwise, these fretful fellows will start chipping away again. Although Xiao Yan was filled with doubt, it was inappropriate for him to say anything when he heard this. All he could do was to nod his head. Xing's large hand was randomly waved when he saw this situation. The empty space in front of him also formed a crack line. After which, he took the lead to step into it in front of the many gazes. Xiao Yan and the rest behind hesitated for a moment before following him into it. After the final person stepped into the spatial crack line, Xing's cold cry rumbled from the crack line and resounded by the ears of everyone from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Humph, Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, all of you better hold back a little when you do anything from now on. Do not really think that just because my ancient void dragon will not appear. Our tribe is not even afraid of the ancient Heaven Phoenix, much less ye descendants who relies on the inheritance of the Heaven Phoenix blood. The expression of Huang Xian's group became unusually ugly when they heard this cry that was filled with a dense threat. This video will end here.